All right. So, Rob, do we have the Wall Street Journal story that says Musk retreats on Trump attacks after call from J.D. Vance, Susie Wiles? Vice President J.D. Vance and White House staff Susie Wiles urged tech billionaire Elon Musk to mend his public feud with President Trump during a call last Friday, with Musk de-escalating on Friday by posting on X, "I regret some of the stuff that I said," which is what we just read. Vance described as both an attack dog and a problem solver, refrained from criticizing Musk to facilitate peacekeeping. Per people familiar with the matter, the feud erupted on June 5th after Musk, a former close Trump advisor, criticized Trump's tax bill, and we know the rest. Is there a video on this? Because it's yellow here, Rob. Do you have a video on this one here?
I believe the video that I have for this was the one we just played. It was the Miranda Devine clip.
Got it. So when you read a story like this, Susie Wiles and JD, are you under the impression that Susie Wiles and Musk have a good relationship? Because there's another story that came out that says the ice, what do you call it? The ice lady or whatever it's called, right? Where, you know, the conflict started with her kind of trying to protect the president, because that was one of the criterias where she said, "I will work for you, but you can't let it have an open door policy allowing anybody coming to the White House like you did in 2016. We got to protect a little bit more." What do you think your impression is of the role that Susie Wiles played or JD played in calming Elon Musk down?
Oh, you were asking me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought you were
me.
asking over here. I think. It was reported that it was Susie and JD.
It was.
So
yes.
I assume. Now, look, I'm sure there were other people having conversations about this, but I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if it was more JD Vance, because JD Vance has this. That no one calls him the Iceman. You know, he doesn't really have this polarizing personality. But it might well have been Susie Wiles. I mean, she's a very effective chief of staff. Trump has given her a lot of plaudits. She's held that job from the campaign very, very strongly. But beyond J.D. Vance and Susie Wiles, I think it was probably the public opinion surveys that started to, because there were surveys that were taken right after this went down, and very few people took Musk's side over Trump. There were a lot of people in the middle who didn't have any opinion or who didn't want them to be fighting or whatever, but I just don't think the battle played very well for Musk. And I think he's a very intelligent person. I think he kind of realized that. And in some ways, the fight, in as much as it was ideological over the battle, it was kind of the expression of a guy who's worked on his first political campaign. I remember my first political campaign. I wasn't donating $200 million to it, but I remember when I was on, I said, "Hold on, wait, why are we compromising on this issue? Wait, why are we making a deal with this guy? Wait, hold on." You know, and if Musk's critique of the Big Beautiful Bill is that it didn't start to pay down the national debt, I just thought, hold on. The last time we balanced the budget, period, was 24 years ago, and it was only after the dot-com bubble, because we had the post-war, post-Cold War excess. So we just don't do that. The Tea Party failed to do it. The Bush era failed to do it. We don't do that. And you don't go from having zillion-dollar deficits to no deficit or to start paying down the debt overnight. That's not how Washington works. And in fairness to Musk, this is his first time really being involved on the ground in government. So I actually wonder if this was not just a kind of cri de coeur misunderstanding, and he realized, oh shoot, I calculated this wrong.
I think
that's pretty extreme, though, what he did. I mean,
it was extreme.
It's literally extreme on what he did. And I want to show a couple clips here, but before I come to you, can you play this Trump clip? Rob, which one is the one that you wanted to play, this or the other one?
So I have Donald Trump. This is where President Trump talks about the fight that allegedly happened between Scott Bessent and Elon Musk and whether or not he witnessed that.
Go for it. Can't hear it, Rob. Still can't hear.
Get physical
now I
with
can
the
hear.
Treasury
Go back a little bit.
No. Ever see Elon Musk get physical with the Treasury Secretary?
No, I didn't.
And I tried to
They
ask...
did have an argument. But I didn't see a lot of physical.
A physical
And
argument.
there was a New York Times report that he did not want to talk about, Elon Musk, that alleged that he, towards the end of his time in the White House, was blurring the lines between recreational use of drugs and medicinal. Do you think he ever had drugs here at the White House?
I really don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. Look, I wish him well. You understand. We had a good relationship, and I just wish him well. Very well, actually.
Okay.
I don't know. I hope not. What a great answer.
Couple things here. Let's start with Trump. Have you ever seen a more measured, respectable response from Donald Trump? with this fight with Elon. Because
right.
any other Trump response would have been, you're fat, you're gay, you're a druggie, you're
2016
stupid.
for
With
sure.
Elon, it's, I wish him the best.
Yeah.
I'm praying for him. I hope he's doing great. I think you asked a very good question. What role did J.D. Vance and
Susie Wiles.
Susie Wiles play in convincing Elon to say that? I don't even know if they had any. I don't know what they did, but I'm pretty sure they said, don't go in on him, Trump. Be measured. Take the higher road. Because in my opinion, you're right. Elon looked at what he did and goes, damn, I messed up.
Yeah.
Okay, you know he messed up because when he deleted the tweets.
Yeah.
When you start deleting tweets as if you can delete a tweet, but you're not going to delete someone's memory like it's Men in Black and Will Smith. Hey, look here. Boom. We all know what you said, dude.
No,
We all knew what you did. Hold on one sec.
Yeah.
So I think he messed up, and I think he realized, oh my God, I'm a man without a home because I see what's going on here in LA. I'm not going to go become a Democrat. The whole narrative over the weekend was, is Elon going to start funding the Democrats? 0% chance of that.
Right. So
So I think Monday came around. He goes, what the hell did I do? And Rob, you'll appreciate this one. There's a very famous Seinfeld episode where George rage quits on a Friday, George Costanza. And he goes and tells Jerry, and he goes, yeah, I quit. I got the hell out. He goes, what are you going to do now? He goes, I didn't think that far ahead. He goes, just go back in on Monday and pretend like it never happened. And he goes, never happened? Never happened. He goes, you're an emotional guy. Nobody takes you seriously. Just go back in on Monday and pretend like it never happened. So George woes back in on Monday. Everyone's looking around like, what the hell are you doing here? Sits down at the table. Everyone's looking at the boss, goes, what the hell are you doing here? Get the hell out. You're fired again. So that's what happened to Elon, is that he came to his senses and he's like, why am I going to war with Trump?
Yeah.
I need Trump.
Yeah.
And that's where I think he's at.
Okay. Is this Besant and the question that's being asked? Go for it, Rob.
Hey, how are you doing?
So far, so good.
Okay, I was just curious because I know Elon Musk body checked you at the White House. So just no animosity to Elon Musk, right?
You know that?
That's what I heard.
So you believe
what I heard.
you believe what you read on Breitbart is
well,
what
listen,
you're telling us, Congressman.
I didn't know if it's too sensitive for you. I won't ask that question, but
Tough guy.
let me move on.
I will take South Carolina over South Africa any day.
Mr. Secretary.
Shots fired.
Did he just say, I will take South Carolina
to South Africa?
over
Wow.
South Africa?
What does that mean
If you're
exactly?
making
Is he from South Carolina?
He's from South Carolina, and Elon, he's like
Wow.
saying, who you want to...
Well,
gotcha. I see
listen,
what you're saying.
then let me tell
Okay,
you.
player.
Then what Trump said and what Besant said, something happened. Then there's no
think so.
question.
I think
It's
so.
done. Because I like that Trump said something did happen. And Besant just said he will take some. I mean,
He didn't say it didn't happen,
He
that's for sure.
he didn't say.
But does that make you happy? Like, and we talked about this on Tuesday. Like Michael, this is like, I love that. It's like alphas in the
Yeah,
room
yeah.
fighting for what's the best in the country. And guess what? That's what guys do. They punch each other in the face.
This was
Shit
my
happens.
point. This was
That's what
my
guys
point.
do, bro. We watch football. We drink beer.
We punch each other in the face.
We run the deficit. It's what we do.
Chest bump the Treasury Secretary. That's what we do, man.
Well,
But
Elon's-
How you like that?
This to
Read
me
cup check.
is
How you
why I
feeling?
brought up the whole hoax. It was all a farce, whatever thing.
Yeah.
Is because people. I remember when I was barely involved in politics, I did not take conspiracy theories very seriously. And then when I got a little bit involved in politics, I thought everything was a grand conspiracy, right? And then I got really involved in politics, where I knew a lot of the key players, and I was seeing things happen firsthand. And I started to realize, I kind of went back to the first one. And I started to realize, no, man, sometimes things just happen. Because even these people are not omnipotent. And sometimes they have bad days, and sometimes they've been stressed, and they haven't slept for a week. And sometimes they body check the Treasury Secretary. And sometimes the bros just call each other pedophiles, and then they got to make up on Twitter, And it happens, and there's going to be fallout. I would be surprised if Trump brings Elon totally back into the fold after this.
Let me ask you
I
this
just think,
question.
to your point,
Yeah.
he probably went a little bit too far. But they're going to kiss and play nice. I mean, Elon's a big figure in Republican politics as of the last 6 months.
Let me ask you this. With Trump, that his level of trust pre the tweet of Epstein to now, what is his level of trust on Elon's temperament from a week and a half ago to today? What do you think it is?
Yeah, it would be very difficult. If you were a guy as circumspect and prudent and you keep it real tight like Trump does, it would be hard to unsee the tweet. I think. It would be probably imprudent to unseat the
What would
tweet.
you say? He went from, Tom, what would you say? From where he was at 2 weeks ago, what percentage he had trust? Let's just say he trusted Trump, Musk, whatever. It's not 100%.
92%.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But what do you think it is? Where did he go from and where is it at today?
I don't think it's zero because Trump has worked with a lot of people that he understands that there are two arenas, the arena privately and the arena
I
publicly.
get that, Tom. What I'm asking you is, where do you think it was 2 weeks ago? Where do you think it's at today?
I'm trying to tell you in less words than Adam would use. I think it's probably 10%. I think it's down at 10%. I don't
Where
think
was
it's
it 2
zero.
weeks ago?
Huh?
Where was it 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago was probably 85%, 80%.
Oh, that's a big drop, Tom.
That's huge.
You're saying it, Vinny, where are you at? From 85 to 10?
I would say, honestly, he trusted him 70 when it started because Trump doesn't trust it. He's even said it. I don't trust anybody. He doesn't trust the ABC reporter that was
Nobody
fired.
100%,
He doesn't trust anybody. So I would go 70%. He trusted him because the investment that he did to make him win. I'd say he's about 25 right now. He could still use him, but he's not going to freaking. Guess what? You're not going to see him with freaking X bouncing around in his freaking head in the White House anytime soon. And then he got punched by Scott Besson, who's, I didn't know this till yesterday. He's a gay guy. You know what the hell that does to your ego? You got clocked by a gay dude? That's not
But he's
good.
like one of the straightest gay guys you ever
Yeah.
saw. You know what I mean?
There's gays and then there's.
But to
listen,
Pat's
I respect these
point-
guys. Like, yeah, I'm gay. Hi, Michael, hi, I'm gay. Then yes, like that person is a whole different.
But to Pat's question specifically, you take a look at it this way. He didn't get angry and yell at the boss and walk out of a meeting. He said, I think this bill is a disaster. That is a statement about a big project everybody's working on that is not helpful at all.
An
and it's
essential
inflammatory.
project, by the way.
And then he comes back and goes, surprise, you're in the Epstein file, and then whatever he said there. So there you go, DJT. That just
You
now,
have 3.5 years. I have 40 years.
That
I mean, he
goes
just
very
went on and
personal.
on and on.
So
and
for
on.
me, Pat, that suddenly goes personal. That's a second shot, and then it's like, and then the other little things in there. It's like, so maybe I'll recalibrate it. It's trust him 75%. But remember, he was defending him, and he kept him in the chair. Everybody's in agreement on that. Trump kept him in the chair when others, as recently
I'll
as
use
30
Elon Musk
days ago,
numbers.
were trying to push it out. And then you get personal. So I think take it 75 to 10. But I think it's a
At this
big
point,
drop.
okay, so maybe here's a different quote. Were you going to give your
Yeah, I'll
score?
give you. I love how Tom took 10 minutes to just say a number, but he called me out. I think he went from 69%,
Which is
down to
20 less
somewhere
than you,
between
my
6 and
little
9%.
sweetie.
Okay.
That's an Elon Musk number.
So then here's the next question. The next question is, in a setting like this with where he's at right now, go a year ago, he needed Elon.
100%.
June, last year when we were in Hamptons and all of a sudden he got shot. I'm like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
He needed him in a big way. Okay. How bad does he need him today compared to how much he needed him a year ago?
Night and day.
That's a complete different
Night and
score.
day.
I'll come to you first.
He needs to make sure that he's not an enemy.
I agree.
He needs to make sure of that because
Yeah.
that $200 million can go the other direction too. And X is the one, it's the smallest of the big ones, but it's still a big tech platform that it's the one that's favorable to us. And it's the only one that's favorable to us. So he can't make an enemy out of him. He doesn't need him. I mean, he got the job.
This weekend is Flag Day, okay? And we're celebrating a lot of different things. And in the whole respect of Flag Day, we have some new merch. An item that I don't know what happened. We launched it at midnight, and we sent an email to the people that are insiders that buy merch, and it's gone already. But we have some of it still that's left, the numbered stuff that we have. Here's a clip about what's about to come out, and the new hat that's out. I have a feeling some of you guys are going to lose your mind, and you're going to want it ASAP. So go ahead and play this clip, Rob. I love that shit. Show me the hat.
Damn. Oh, wow.
Limited edition,
Wow, that-
numbered hat. And these are the ones that comes in this box. It's numbered out of 250. And when you get it, there's a card inside with the hat here. I'm going to unwrap it. Chris said don't do it.
Chris
has got so
Too
many
late.
rules.
Sorry,
This guy,
Chris.
He's so creative. Creatives have a lot of
Yeah,
rules.
too late. Oh, that's
And
bad.
if you see
We're gonna
this
teach
hat
him business
here,
next
look at
year.
this. That's right. It's going to happen eventually. Future looks bright on the side. with the Valuetainment on the back
What
and
number
Future
is
Looks
that?
Bright
America
here.
with that
This is not
American
numbered.
Vinny,
This
it's
is
like
the
little Air
promo.
Force guys.
I love it.
Everything there is going to be numbered. That'll come out to you. And there's a lot of, Rob, if you can go on other items, this is limited at a 250. So this will go out in the next hour, but you got other gear that you have with the American flag on it. Represent it, sport it, go to work, your flip-flops, the hats, shirts, whatever may be. If you're proud to be an American and you love Valuetainment and Future Looks Bright, go represent, put the gear on, and go to vtmerch.com and get your latest numbered Future Looks Bright hat. Rob, if you can put the link below, go to vtmerch.com. By the way, if you go on eBay right now, it's crazy what's going on with these numbered hats that people buy and post them on here. That one right there to the left is 1 out of 250 guys selling it for 10 grand. The other one is 43 out of $53,000. These are our limited edition hats that are on eBay. For some of you that don't buy it here, we will not reproduce this. This simply ends up being on eBay. So if you want to add it to your collection, go to vtmerch.com, place your order. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.